Welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another insight. I hope that you are moving the needle forward in 2024 and that you are busy pursuing the goals, or that you have at least set out goals that you can pursue in order to make this a breakthrough year. If you need some guidance and some assistance with that, you can check out the links in the comments. I've dropped videos to my 2 previous videos where I actually lay down a path for you to start building a roadmap to dominate 2024. And this video is just building on top of that as well. So do check out those videos in the comments. Now, sometimes when you're building the dream, you find yourself living a nightmare. And it can be extremely difficult when you are living a nightmare and you are so desperate to have this breakthrough in your life, and it just feels so completely far off, but you don't know how to reach it. I know I've lived that nightmare 2 years ago where I was unemployed, I had no income, and I was desperately trying to provide for my daughters, desperately trying to give them a better life. And it was so hard going through that period. You try to relate it to people who are working, who do have income, but they cannot relate to what you are going through. They cannot feel what you are feeling in that particular moment. Being a father, not being able to give to my children was extremely embarrassing, extremely humbling. It left me feeling broken on many occasions. And I would lay my heart out to the Lord and I would say, I really just needed to move in my circumstances and just change and just give me some sign that you are with me. But then, yes, there were breakthroughs. They were sporadic breakthroughs. They weren't consistent, like I said, sporadic. That reminded me God was hearing me, that He was seeing me, and that He understood what I was going through. But the destitute and the pain of going through all of that was extremely difficult. That is why I'm sharing this particular insight with you right now, because right now you might be facing something in your life that feels like everything is pulling you away from God. Everything is pulling you further and further down this rabbit hole where you don't want to be in. You want to pursue a life with God. You want to be spirit-filled. You want to be closer to God. But every circumstance is just being packed on top of you, and it's just suffocating everything that you are trying to be in the kingdom. I want to tell you that I've been down that road. I know how difficult it is. And through this insight, I want to encourage you, to stay in prayer, to pursue God relentlessly, to not give up. Because at the end of the day, if you keep pursuing God, if you are relentless, you will get that breakthrough. It took 2 years for my breakthrough to manifest, but it manifested. It came through for me. And it came through at points when I was about to give in the tower, at points where I was just about to break down completely. But like Ed Milet says in his book, I just gave it one more go. And that's what I want to encourage you through this insight. Just take one more step towards your goal. When you feel like you really want to quit right now, you really want to give up right now, take a deep breath. Tell yourself you want to quit. Tell yourself you're feeling broken, that you're feeling destitute. But just take one more step towards the goal. I hope you take value from this insight, and if you do, please share it with the next person. Share it with someone that you think might need this type of encouragement in their journey. Let's impact the world. Let's help people shift their thinking, shift their perspective, realizing that, there is a God out there that really cares about them, that He wants to elevate their lives, elevate their thinking, and really start living their lives God's way. Now, taking one more step when everything feels extremely hard or feels like it's going against you can be extremely hard. I know, I've been there, I've been down that road. I've been very fortunate that I have incredible leaders in my life. As a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with some of my leaders quite recently, and they reminded me, that when I was going through their difficulties, had my faith not waned in their difficulties, had my faith not taken a serious dip in those times where I was waiting and expecting for God to provide me with this breakthrough, then I would have developed an arrogance in terms of my spirit. I would have said that because of my faith that was immovable, I moved God to move my situation. And I never looked at it that way, but when they spoke about it and they mentioned it, I thought, wow, that is so eye-opening, because I'm a human being. I have human emotions, and I reason on a human level. I am not God. I cannot reason on God's level. So yes, there would have been that arrogance, there would have been that spirit of arrogance to say that I moved God into moving into my situations. So if you are going through difficulties and you feel yourself, falling off the path, don't beat yourself up. Just, realign yourself, get yourself back onto track, and realize and understand that you are human and that God accepts and understands that you will have these times when you fall. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go again. But how do you move then in terms of these challenges? How do you take that one more step to move out of the nightmare to start moving towards the dream? How do we do that? Well, one of the ways that I did that in my own journey was I started realigning myself. I started getting my priorities in order, because Matthew 6 verse 33 tells us very beautifully, seek thee first the kingdom of God, all his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Now, I'm still waiting for all these things to be added unto me, but I started seeking God first. I started seeking his righteousness. And yes, there are times when I do still have negative thoughts popping into my head saying that, can you really do this? Did God really say that is possible for you? And I have to quiet those voices down inside my head and remind myself that, you know what, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but I know what I am capable of doing in this moment right now. I am capable of shifting my focus, shifting my vision, and shifting my view, and looking at God and saying, Lord, I had a few bad thoughts right now. I had a few negative thoughts right now, but I'm choosing to let go of those thoughts, and I'm choosing to realign my focus on you. So your first step in getting yourself out of the nightmare and into pursuit of the dream and moving towards building the dream, because I am moving towards building the dream. I am not yet loving the dream. Okay, so the first step is to align your priorities, to get your priorities in order, and to align yourself with God's thinking for your life. That for me was a starting point. I would encourage you to make that the starting point of your life. The next step, obviously, and for me, this is so crucial and so important, is you need to adjust your mindset. We get attacked on a constant basis. I mean, remember when Jesus came out of the desert? Or when Jesus was in the desert, the devil attacked him for 40 days non-stop, because he knew Jesus was going to achieve a breakthrough in his life. That is what the enemy is going to do continuously. He's going to attack us because he knows that if he doesn't do anything, if he does not attack us, we are going to walk into our breakthrough. Now, Jesus was completely focused on God. We are not perfect in that walk. We do have our failings. We do have our flaws. But like Paul says, don't be conformed to the world. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So renew your mind. Take time out. Understand your thoughts. What are you thinking about? When you're facing situations, when you get into an argument, a heated argument especially, what prompted you to react the way you did in that particular argument? These are the things that I sit down and I break and I think, okay, I take the guilt and the disappointment and all of that and I acknowledge it, but then I say, okay, why did I react that way? Why did I show up that way? What could I have done differently? Okay, so transform your thinking, renew your mind consistently, right? Adjust your mindset and focus on how you can show up better moving forward, knowing that you are a flawed individual. You will always be flawed, but you can always take the learning and move forward from these experiences. And then the last one that I want to share with you, it comes from Luke 18 verse 1, where it says that Jesus shared with the disciples through a parable with the disciples that they should always pray and never give up. Now, I know that one is particularly hyped in the self-development sphere, never give up, never quit. But they're really missing the value of what was said in that particular verse. And if you move a few lines to the left, you will see that Jesus is saying that you need to stay in pray. You need to pray, because that builds up your resilience, that builds up your faith, and that gives you the strength to move through this nightmare and move into this dream that you currently have for your life. But if you are not connected with God, if you're not praying, if you're not meditating and fasting as well, another important thing, fasting, praying, and meditating, then you cannot connect with God. You're not going to be aligned in terms of your priorities. Your mindset is going to be all wrong, and you will never develop that resilience, that spiritual resilience that you really need to take your life to the next level. These are the things that has been getting me out of this nightmare that I was living 2 years back to moving towards this dream that I am now currently pursuing. And these are the very attributes that are going to take you from moving your life from staggering and just falling short of who you are capable of being, to actually stepping into that man or that woman that God has designed you to be, so that one day when you stand in front of the throne, you too can hear that words, well done, good and faithful servant. Isn't that the aspiration? Isn't that what we are all living for? What we are all striving for? To hear our Lord and Savior say, well done, good and faithful servant. I know that is certainly what I am living for. That is certainly what drives me on a day-to-day basis. I want to hear that comment. I want to hear that phrase. And I want to feel that joy in my heart, knowing that I love this life, giving everything that I was capable of giving. That yes, I fell short of God's glory on so many occasions, but I kept picking myself up because that resilient spirit inside of me refused to let me lay down, refused to let me quit, refused to let me engulf myself in pity and despair, loving the nightmare when God had this beautiful dream set aside for me. And He's got a beautiful dream set aside for you. But you have to pick yourself up. You have to align your priorities. You have to get your mindset right, and you have to be resilient in pursuit of that dream. I hope that you extracted the value from what I just shared with you on this particular insight, because I know the battles, they can feel overwhelming, they can drain you, and they can make you feel like it's never going to change for me. But look at my story. It has changed. It's changed for me. It will certainly change for you. Okay. If you took value from what I just shared, please share it with the next person. I am sure there are people out there that desperately need to hear messages like this, where they understand and know that God is their anchor, God is their hope. So please share it with them. Let us help build our communities. Let us help strengthen our people in their journey, in their walk. If you haven't yet, please by all means subscribe to the channel. I love sharing insights from a grounded perspective to help shift your thinking, your beliefs, to elevate your life so that you can start living your life God's way. And you can certainly help me by growing this channel by simply giving this insight a like, as it does affect the algorithms here on YouTube. It makes the video available to a wider audience. I appreciate your support. I love your comments. I love reading your comments, so please keep them coming. It encourages me to dive deeper within myself to provide you with better and greater value. So thank you very, very much for that. I look forward to speaking to you on our next insight. So for now, this is Vinnie Mac saying, change your thinking, change your world.